gonna party with me like it's 1999?
I am playfully persistent. You might as well say yes to the party now because I am never gonna give up.
I can't wait to spoil you with a night all about you, full of friends, fun, and free products. I am a party planning professional. When you party with me, you get the whole shebang, including a theme and lots of fun.
Please welcome Kate Ellen and Megan Seymour.
Who is having fun? How about those amazing Hostess exclusives? Come on, these are awesome. Megan, what's your favorite part?
I can't pick just one. They were so enticing. I just think they're going to be super awesome at helping us book some parties.
That is for sure. Now, Megan and I are here to help you guys learn how to grow your business. So buckle up and get ready. Okay? Make sure you've got your cell phones ready because there's going to be a part a little bit later in our training. We're going to ask you to snap some pictures of some important information. Okay? Now, I am here to help you learn how to book those parties.
And I'm going to talk to you about how to maximize your booking party efforts with some sound hostess coaching.
Now, ladies, there is no silver bullet or magic pill that is magically going to transform your business into a huge success. But we can promise you this. If you can master the skills of booking and hostess coaching, there is no limit to where your business can go. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, when I started 31, almost 8 years ago, I had figured that if anybody wanted to book a party with me, that they would ask. Or if I was feeling especially brave, I might subtly hint at booking a party. Surprisingly, this little Jedi mind trick of mine did not work all that well. So at my first ever 31 meeting that I attended, these wonderful women told me about these magical things called booking seeds. And apparently, when you use these booking conversations or seeds, they somehow transform into parties on your calendar and then cash in your paycheck. But the trick was, it only worked if you asked everybody. What? So I decided that I was going to go ahead and give it a try. So at my next party, I made the decision that I was going to ask every single person to book a party with me. And I was a wreck. I mean, straight up, dry mouth, sweaty hands, vomit level right here. But I promised that I was going to do it, and you know what? It worked. There were people who booked parties with me that I would have never imagined would have asked. And I kept doing it, and it kept working. So that's the end, right? Everything's been perfect since then on out. Well, let's fast forward 6 years, and I began to find myself at the beginning of a month with a blank calendar. And I'm like, well, how can this be? I've got the magic booking seeds. Have they been zapped of their power somehow? Well, the truth was I had gotten complacent. I was working from a place of fear. I had forgotten the stuff that I had done to get me successful in the beginning. Believe it or not, I was focusing on the wrong person. And though I personally believe that I'm the center of the universe, truth is it's not really that way. I was self-sabotaging and really kind of lost some confidence. So I had to make the decision to get back to the basics that had made me a success in the beginning. And I found when I started asking everybody to party with me that my business started to get more momentum.
That's totally spot on, Kate. And I have to say that there's this quote that reminds me of that says, if you don't want to keep starting over, stop quitting. And that definitely points to the momentum that you're talking about with booking.
So right, Megan. The truth is consistency breeds success. So let's focus on how you're going to do it.
First things first is you've got to get in the right mindset. How do you feel about booking a party? Are you nervous? Are you afraid of hearing the word no? Because if so, you might have fallen into the same trap that Kate was in, and you might be focusing on the wrong person.
Ladies, we are ambassadors of fun. Like Anna mentioned, we have one of the richest Hostess reward programs in the entire industry. You just saw those amazing Hostess exclusives that we have.
And please don't forget that we have the opportunity to also give our hostesses something much more than just a free bag. we have the opportunity to give her a night to focus completely on her, to relax and have a good time with her friends.
Okay, so now that you're ready, we're gonna focus on who you're gonna call. All right? Now, if you're a newer consultant, or if you're a consultant where you feel like you have been partying with the same 7 people over and over and over again, what you're gonna wanna do is get out that handy who do you know list and utilize the Frank's method to fill that out. And if you're unfamiliar with who Frank is, don't worry, it is spelled out for you right there on the sheet on TOT.
Now, if you're a seasoned consultant, you already have a bank of past customers and past hostesses that you can call upon. Do those pink bag calls, and while you're at it, talk to them about booking their own party. Some of you have hostess leads as well, and you should definitely continue to follow up with them over and over again, and one day you might book that party.
So now what we're gonna do is actually focus on what you're going to say. So go ahead and snap some pictures here. These are 2 sample scripts that you can use either in a text or a Facebook message, or even use it when you're on the phone. But the key behind it is to really watch your language, okay? I've become very, very intentional to eliminate the word host from my booking conversations, and here's why. When somebody asks me to host something, I feel like, I am a busy girl, and I cannot add one more thing to my already full plate. So we're gonna switch it up, and I think we'll give you a second set of scripts that you can focus on there. Instead, I intentionally focus on offering my potential hostess a fun night of celebration with her and her friends. And even though I've got a crazy busy schedule, I'm always gonna make time to get together with my friends. So now let's talk about, when we take a look at the scripts that we've given you here, find the one that's going to be the closest to your style and really kind of make it your own. So now that we've given you the words to say and you know who you're gonna call, let's talk about where you're going to party. So what do you think of when I say the words home party? How many of you envision the Tupperware party from the 60s with the consultant in her dress with her pantyhose and all of her guests sitting in front of her, quietly listening to her pitch? Now, while having our hostess gather her friends in her home has traditionally been the way that we have normally built a home party, that doesn't mean that's the only way that you can do it.
At the ball field, at a playground for a play date, at a coffee shop, even on Facebook, it doesn't really matter. As long as she brings the friends and you bring the products, you've got yourself a party.
So now you know where you're going to do it. The last step is to offer. The bottom line is, my little Jedi mind trick thing doesn't work. So you have to ask. You have to make that offer to party with you. So now I'm actually going to show you all how to get at least one party on your calendar right now. Who's up for a booking? All right. So the greatest thing is you can make the first offer to yourself. So I want you guys to get out your calendars and take a look at the days that we have remaining in July and find a date that you can offer your customers a last chance first glance party. It's going to be your opportunity to get them together, to give them one last chance to shop our spring catalog and give them the first glance at the amazing new fall products that we're about to show you.
And if you don't have any dates on your calendar left in July, it's okay. Book a party for the beginning of August and call it your fall product debut. It doesn't really matter when the party is. What's important is that you have a party on your calendar right now.
Everybody got it? Megan, we just booked 5,000 parties.
Woohoo! 5,000 parties! Okay, now we've got 5,000 parties, so what are we going to do to make sure that those 5,000 parties are successful? How are we going to guarantee ourselves that it's going to be a great party? Okay, how many of you guys have ever had that party that cancels on you about 24 hours in advance? Okay, yes. How many of you have had that party where you drive maybe an hour and you hire a babysitter and you planned like crazy and then you're really disappointed with barely a $200 order? Anybody? Yeah, it's really frustrating. When I first started actively selling 31, and that was a little over 2.5 years ago, I had no clue what hostess coaching was, let alone how to do it. And my first few hostesses, to be perfectly honest, I got lucky with. They didn't need a lot of hand holding, and I thought I was doing pretty good. But it wasn't until I had that really, really awkward experience where I went to a party, and it was her, me, and her grandma. And that's about it. And it was that moment when I realized, okay, something needs to change here. At that time, I have 3 little boys. I had a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and an 11-month-year-old. And so for me to leave the house, it had to be really, really worth my while. So I started to think through my party preparations and what I could do differently. And over time, and this was an evolving process, I sort of came to some conclusions about hostess coaching and how it could solve all of those problems.
And that is totally key, because if you are able to set up your hostess in the party for success from the very beginning, it's going to save you a ton of time. Like, your time is valuable, okay? You don't want to have to waste it chasing orders after the party is done. We know that y'all have better things to do. Those Pokemon are not going to catch themselves.
If you don't know what Pokemon is, just go on Facebook, okay? If you are looking to give yourself a raise, this is the way to do it. You need to hostess coach like a boss, okay? Because think about it, it's all about priorities, hers and yours. So if she has the most fantastic 31 party of her life, that's great, but that's not her top goal in life. Her goal is not to, she has other goals in life. Now, she might not be as cute as she could be if she didn't get that quirk style setter, as we all know. But again, it's not her top priority. But for us, as the consultant, the party is a priority. We are leaving our homes, we're leaving our families, and we need to make the most of it. It could mean books for your kid that's going off to college. It could mean, you have a broken down car and you need to fix that car. It could mean food on your plate. So what we've got to do is make sure that every single party is productive and everything that we do is meaningful. We want to make sure that she gets her wants and you get your needs. So let's talk practically here and dig a little bit deeper into what hostess coaching is. So you're looking at the hostess coaching checklist, which is available on 31 today. And you can use this same sheet to guide your communication with each and every single hostess that you have.
Megan, this is an amazing resource. Where did you say we can find it again?
It's already done for you. It's right there on 31 today. You don't have to come up with something on your own. Now, during your first few connections with her, this is really your time to start building the relationship. You want to find out about her. What is her life like? What are her goals for the party, and why did she book one anyways? What does she want to see sitting in her living room, or who does she want to see at the coffee shop? The more communication you have with her here, the more confidence she's going to have in herself and in you as the consultant, and the fewer cancellations you're going to see on your calendar.
Megan, I don't know about this. Hostess coaching seems like a ton of work.
It doesn't have to be labor intensive, Kate, but it does need to be intentional. So let's talk practically again about some things you can implement when you're communicating with her. I like to start planning my parties as soon as I book them. And I usually start with a save the date from Red Stamp that I'll mock up and I'll send to my hostess, and then she can text blast it out to all her friends or email them as well.
I want you guys to start thinking about the save the date that you're going to use for the party that you just booked for yourself, because this is an action step that we're going to ask you to implement later.
Now it's time to get planning. Has anybody ever had that hostess that drags her feet on the invitation process? I mean, seriously, can you have a party when there's nobody there? I mean, that's weird. Okay, so for some hostesses though, the invitation process can be very daunting. So you need to make sure that you are available to help her every step of the way. Now that could mean setting up the Facebook invitation for her. Maybe you're going to mail out some VIP invitation mini catalogs. Maybe you're going to use the branded emails in our back office. There's a variety of ways, but what you want to make sure is that you approach all communication with both the guests and with your hostess in a blended approach. Don't be afraid to invite people multiple ways.
Like I said before, we are all busy. And there are people that may miss emails or not check Facebook all the time. When you invite people multiple ways, you will significantly increase the chance of them actually attending the party. So be sure to invite every guest, at least using 2 different methods.
So the invitations have been sent, and now, since you really want to ensure success, you've got to make sure to get those people to the party. So there's a couple of ways that you can do that. And the first way is to encourage everybody to bring a friend. You can literally double your numbers at a party if everybody brings a friend or family member. The second thing you can do is reach out to all those maybes on the list. They need a little push. They need to know that you really want them at the party. So a personal message is the best way to get them there. Use Facebook. If you have a Facebook invite set up, post a really interesting picture and have your hostess tag somebody on it that might really like that product. And then a personal phone call. Some people literally probably never saw the invite. So you need to have the hostess call them and say, hey, guess what? Did you see the invite? Come on over. And then lastly, discuss the power of the outside order. Outside orders can literally bump up your personal volume 1 or 2 levels. And for those people who said they cannot come to the party, this is a way to get some orders submitted, again, helping the overall party. All right, so after we have focused on guest attendance, I usually like to send a reminder, very similar to the save the date, and I send it 2 or 3 days before the party to the hostess, and she'll blast it out.
Love the idea of the reminder. So Megan, do you basically send the reminder and then just kind of show up at her house?
No, I don't do that. Usually 1 or 2 days before the party, I follow up with her directly, and it is always on the phone in person. And here, again, I'm working on that relationship. I talk to her about who's coming to the party, so I know, how to present. We talk about what time to arrive, what the party flow will look like. Basically, I'm trying to help her feel comfortable, and it's a great time to hammer out the logistics of the actual party.
So now we've had the party, and because of your amazing hostess coaching, it's been a huge success. So does your hostess coaching end there? Is there anything we do next?
Well, no, I know you guys are familiar with that phrase, the fortune is in the follow-up. And what I do is, after every single party, I message with Red Stamp every single guest and hostess with a thank you for attending. And if I took a picture at the party, I'll include that as well, like you can see on the screen. And this is such an easy thing to do, but it's so important because I want you to see the response that I got from this last thank you that I sent. The guest said, thanks, Megan. I can't wait to have you in my home. So there you go. I sent a thank you, and I immediately got another booking.
See, it is proof that it works. So Megan and I have thrown a lot at you this morning, and so we just want to make sure that since you have at least 1 party on your calendar right now, that you're going to take those action steps to make it a success. So what we're going to have you do, those action steps are plan and send your save the date. Make sure that you're inviting your guests using that blended approach. Every guest at least 2 different ways. Send a reminder prior to your party, and also make sure that you follow up after. We promise that if you do these steps, you're going to have an amazing party and a wonderful fall selling season.
Good luck, ladies. Have fun at your parties.
Please welcome back to the stage, Andrea Dowding.
Megan waved at me.